Today on Studio G, we have updates on the California wildfires.
We'll also be joined by Editor-in-Chief of Scarlett and Gray Free Press, Stephanie Madrid.
And Moapa Valley takes you through a corn maze.
Don't go anywhere. Studio G starts right now. Thank you for joining Studio G. I'm Trevor Glisson.
And I'm Marlette Youssef.
Today marks 1 week since the Camp and Woolsey fires began burning in Southern California. Some people are finally allowed back in their neighborhoods. In Northern California, the Butte County Sheriff's Department will begin taking DNA samples today from people who are missing a family member. It's part of the task of locating the more than 100 people still unaccounted for. Omar Jimenez reports.
Fire crews are making progress on the multiple wildfires burning up and down the state of California, but the death toll keeps rising. Specifically in the Camp Fire, more remains were found, and it is already the deadliest and most destructive fire this state has ever seen. As firefighters take control of the Woolsey and Camp Fires in California, many people remain missing.
There are a lot of people that want some answers. They are depending on us to find their loved one.
The National Guard is assisting in the search, sifting through debris and turning over rubble, looking for bodies. The grim task is taking its toll on crews.
Everybody that's involved here has an emotional connection to this. A lot of the people that are from this community have directly been impacted by either losing their home or know somebody that lost their home.
The majority of the missing are from Paradise, a Northern California town all but wiped from the face of the earth.
We went all over town yesterday and we did not see any neighborhood that wasn't devastated.
The mayor of Paradise says they were not prepared for the fire's speed.
The winds were so strong, it was blowing embers 1 to 2 miles. The fire chief told me that. It was just blowing in 2 miles at a time. We had no time at all, maybe 5 minutes.
Still, she is confident they will rise from the ashes.
We're gonna come back, we're gonna rebuild, we're gonna make Paradise paradise again. Now, here in Calabasas in Southern California, they have been dealing with the Woolsey fire. That one continues to burn, but the good news there is that winds are expected to be weak today, and county officials say they hope to take advantage of that opportunity to prevent any further perimeter growth. But up to this point, it has already burned an area larger than the size of Denver. Reporting from Calabasas, California, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Let's go to outro. 6.
Today marks 1 week since the Camp and Woolsey fires began burning in Southern California. Some people are finally allowed back in their neighborhoods. In Northern California, the Butte County Sheriff's Department will begin taking DNA samples today from people who are missing a family member. It's part of the task of locating the more than 100 people still unaccounted for.
Several homes in the valley have been subject to racial vandalism. Reporter Chelsea Abate has more.
In the past 2 weeks, both the UNLV campus and homes in the Summerlin area have been the target of racial vandalism.
Hate crime enhancement in Nevada is that there has to be a victim that the crime is committed towards because of their gender, race, religion, or any other identifying criteria.
According to Detective Velez, these incidents can be classified as somebody being affected by the crime or their property. It doesn't have to be a person, it can just be vandalism.
The criminal act has to be done because of one of those contributing factors. That's what makes it a hate crime.
Metro Police are currently working in an open investigation with the community for any leads.
It affects me tremendously. As a kid, I went to Heber Academy, which is now the Adelson School. And as a child, that school often got vandalized. So that's why they put the fence around it now, because they were having so many anti-Semitic attacks there.
Las Vegas residents are worried now that homes are being targeted for anti-Semitic vandalism.
The house that got vandalized was in the neighborhood right next to mine. So I feel like once again, there's an attack in my safe place, which is my home.
As the Las Vegas community comes together to unite after the recent incidents, one thing's for sure. Metro won't stop until they find the people responsible for committing these hate crimes. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Chelsea Abate.
We will continue to follow this story. After the break, an inside look at Dia de los Muertos in the Valley.
Our Metropolis is a 30-minute show that airs every Tuesday evening at 91.5. You're going to hear Dr. Gary Larson along with our regular contributors talking about what matters to our community. And not only what matters, but why does it matter? We look at our community as a whole, but we also pay special attention to what's happening here at UNLV because that's our home as well. So looking at our Metropolis through the lens of a radio show really gives us the unique perspective to tell a story through words and through people, and I think it makes for a great program.
Member supported. KUNV 91.5, The Source. Here's why you should become a member. Become a part of the public radio family while keeping jazz alive in Southern Nevada. Every member receives a discount card to businesses and restaurants around the valley, along with a premium of KUNV branded items, exclusive access to KUNV ticket giveaways for concerts and events, and private members-only events with prominent musicians such as Paul Taylor, Vincent Ingala, and many more. We are 91.5 The Source, and that source is you. So become a member today.
Las Vegas is one of the most diverse cities in the U.S. At the Springs Preserve, people learned about the Hispanic culture's Dia de los Muertos. Studio G reporter Nestor Sanchez brings us more.
Dia de los Muertos is a Mexican holiday that has been celebrated for over 1,000 years, and here in Las Vegas, the Spring Preserve every year hosts a 3-day event to honor the holiday. From loteria to traditional Mexican dances, Springs Preserve showcase many aspects of the Mexican culture.
Seeing the altars, all the work they put in it, and the memories, and just to see everything they have done to honor their loved one, to me has been amazing. It has been an amazing experience.
Spring Preserve also hosted an altar contest which allowed participants to participate in the ancient tradition of making altars for their friends and family or idols.
One of the main reasons we did it last year was to help with my daughter and my wife's recent loss of her grandfather and my wife's father. So it's a nice way of us remembering those who are not with us, but always having to bring them up and talk about them. One of the things that we do it for is because when you have the pictures out there, whether it's your family or friends, or for instance at this event, other people come by, they ask you about it. You get to talk and tell their stories, and that's part of the reason about the Dia de los Muertos. It's not about celebrating the death, but about their life, spreading their stories and speaking about what they've done, how they've lived, and what the best things that you remember about them are. Our altar has not only our family, but we have a couple friends on there as well. One of them recently died a week ago and lost her battle to cancer. So instead of being sad about that, we celebrate it because her life was beautiful. She has an 8-month-old son that's going to live on and carry on with her. And one day when he's old enough, I hope he can come out here and celebrate it with us as well.
Que lo celebramos es honrándolos con comida, bebida que a ellos les gustaba. Ponemos veladoras porque es la luz para que ellos puedan llegar a las ofrendas que hacemos para ellos. Y la estamos tratando de heredar a nuestros hijos que nacen, son americanos, pero que quieren conservar sus raíces.
Dia de los Muertos had a huge turnout tonight. Regardless of your age, everybody had something they could do tonight. For Studio G, I'm Nestor Sanchez.
Dia de los Muertos is a special festival celebrating loved ones. You can visit nationalgeographic.com to learn more about the festival's tradition.
As we approach the winter season, one organization shows us that it's not too cold for fall activities. The Moapa Valley Corn Maze is a place for family and friends alike. Earl Hughes has more.
Hallo und willkommen zum Corn Maze in Moapa Valley. Hello and welcome to the Corn Maze in Moapa Valley.
The Moapa Valley Corn Maze is a place where people all over Nevada come to have fun in the fall harvest season. It hosts many different attractions including cow trains for children, a 12-acre pumpkin patch, and of course, a plethora of corn mazes.
The Moapa Valley Corn Maze is home to food, fun, and exciting family time. It's a place for everyone.
I just love the overall atmosphere, the environment. It's a great place that you can bring your friends, you can bring your families.
The animals were pretty cool. The pigs were cool.
It was popping, if you know what I mean.
You got to feed them and everything, but you have to have 25 cents, and I didn't have 25 cents, so I didn't feed the pig because I only had $1. And so I could have stole some, but that would have been nice because I work at a church.
I think it's just a great environment. It's a great place to be.
The corn maze is up and running for only 2 weeks in October, and the entrance fee is $12. Moapa is a short 60-minute drive from the Las Vegas Valley, and it is a place for all people to enjoy themselves. From Studio G, I'm Earl Hughes.
What a great event to share the high spirits with others. We'll be right back after the break.
As far as Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing. You get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
Internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Welcome back. The Valley is experiencing beautiful but colder weather as we approach Thanksgiving break. Nestor Sanchez has more of what we could expect.
Good morning. My name is Nestor Sanchez, and as you can see, today's weather is actually a lot warmer than yesterday's. We're at 63 degrees, and the highest that you're going to expect today is 70 degrees, while the lowest is 47, which was a lot higher than yesterday. Today is going to be a sunny day. Let's see our weekly forecast. All right, I got it. All right, so all right, for our weekly forecast, as you can see, unlike yesterday, everything's like low 70s to like upper 60s. While the cold nights are it's still pretty cold. The highest this week is going to be at 48, which is going to be tomorrow on Friday. Let's see the weather throughout the city. Centennial's at 61 degrees, Summerlin's at 61 as well. North Las Vegas, Paradise, and Green Valley are all at 63 degrees. Southern Highlands at 62 degrees, Henderson's at 61, and Nellis is the coldest out of the area in Las Vegas at 56 degrees. Let's see the weather on our campus right now. So it's currently 61 degrees, visibility is 10 miles, the wind speed is very calm, and humidity is 16. Let's see how it's going to be at night tonight for those rebels that want to stay later than expected. So the highest is going to be 58 degrees, the humidity is going to be 23, and it's going to be a partly cloudy night. And there's going to be some wind, but it's not going to be that much since it's only 5 miles per hour. All right, after the break, we're going to go to Sebastian and Ross with the interview.
I'm Kylie O'Rourke.
Shervin Mushuri. I'm Langston Carter.
Hi, I'm Holly.
My name is Anna.
My name is Jameson Wilk. Window on the Middle East.
Spinning Indie.
Denise and Holly.
It's Jazz on a Touch of Soul.
It's Latin Nights with Anna.
The Rebel and Revolt Show.
And you can check it out on therebelhd2.com.
The show's name is the Rebel and Revolt Show. Pretty good show about, you know, just someone who will actually talk about UNLV the way an outsider might feel. We talk about current events, we talk about politics, try to take an offensive swing with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but and then we talk about, you know, the little things in life that everybody laughs about. And we are the Rebels and we are revolting. My name is Jameson Wilk and I run the Rebel and Revolt Show, and you can tune in at therebelhd2.com.
Thanks for sticking around for today's interview. I'm Sebastian Ross, and we're joined today here at Studio G by Stephanie Madrid, the editor-in-chief of the UNLV Scarlet and Gray Free Press. What's up, Stephanie? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. To start off, you got into your position earlier this year.
Yes.
And since taking on your new role, how have you seen, what progression have you seen the paper make?
I've seen us do a complete 180 as far as ad sales go. I was left with a little over $2,000 for the entire semester, and you know, we turned it around, and my amazing director of marketing and sales, Shane, she's sold already, what are we, November? We're mid-November, and we're already at about $18,000 in ad sales, which is more than we did all last year, so.
So we think about journalism in the state where it's at today, and print journalism, and the reporters and the staff and the experience that they have. And oftentimes we talk to editors, and they look for students with experience with their student newspaper. What are students able to gain experience-wise from their time at the Scarlet and Gray?
I think this is the closest real-life experience they'll get to working at an actual newspaper. I mean, we have the same hierarchy, we have the same editors, we have the same, you know, timelines, deadlines. We're a real business. We just unfortunately don't get funded as much as, let's say, the Review Journal or the Las Vegas Sun, but I mean, we're exactly the same, and you'll learn exactly the same things, just on a smaller scale since we're campus-based, you know? So I think it's really just, it's the same as an internship at the Review Journal or anywhere else. It's just, you know, real life experience.
Taking a look at our current presidential administration, there's been a lot of criticism on the press, and especially, you know, printed media, with the Washington Post being an example. By your experience working with the newspaper, how have you become a better journalist?
How have I?
Yeah.
I guess I want to say that with the current climate of the whole fake news kind of thing and Trump saying all these crazy things, I think what I've really grilled my staff on, and myself as well, is to just, you know, triple fact check everything. That, you know, make sure you always source things. That way no one can be commenting on our stuff saying this isn't true, this is like misconstrued, you know, like, so I think I've become a better journalist seeing in real life how much people are like, this isn't true, that's not real, to make sure that I have that backup of, you know, sourcing, and I got everything right and I did everything I was supposed to do. So I think that's how myself and all my staff have become better journalists in this climate.
So school newspaper staffs always fluctuate. It's like a revolving door. You're never going to have the same group twice. What about this current staff that you have comprised right now makes them special, or what stands out to you?
I think they're all very wise beyond their years. I think all of them have fortunately have taken the classes that they needed to, and I think that the print track department of the journalism school at UNLV, I think they've stepped it up, and they've got better classes and better professors, and they've brought better people in, you know, to help us with our editing and our writing and our, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I think that people who apply are a lot more experienced than they were in the past, and that's thanks to the journalism school.
So being inside of the office every day, sometimes it might be hard to think of the big picture because you're just so busy and committed to what you're doing at that specific moment. But if you had to take a step back and just take a look at the future of the Scarlet and Gray Free Press down the road, what do you envision?
I envision us going back to being a daily publication, whether that be, you know, daily printing or at least daily newsletter on campus, because right now we're only printing once a week. That's only as much as our budget allows. But I feel like with the current trend of the students I've brought in and how they're really excelling with their ad sales and fundraising and all that kind of stuff, I feel like I hope to get us to a point where we do have money to go back to being daily.
So long term, those are some good goals, but short term, how would you like to finish out the semester, being that we're so close to being over?
I would like, how would I like to end the semester? I'd like to continue to stay afloat. Right now, we've got a lot of great staff that is unfortunately leaving, but I hope that they would bring in people to work for us that they know and they trust, that I can, you know, start to train and do everything that could be like just as good as them. So I feel like I want to end with a solid staff before we go into spring semester.
So if we take a look at media, different types of medias are converging as technology increases. Are there any plans with the Scarlett and Gray Free Press to delve out more into different forms of audio media or even video media?
We've been thinking about a podcast. I think we tried to start it, I think, last semester, but there was just a lot going on and it never really hit. So that's another thing that I think it would be really cool to do, a podcast, some sort of multimedia kind of something. But I think that journalism in print form is recession proof. So maybe people aren't picking up physical papers as much, but I mean, they're reading online all the time. So I feel like maybe going to more, like I said, a daily newsletter online or some sort of something online, being more present online would be better, but yeah.
So the experience and the skills that the students are able to gain by working at the newspaper are certainly invaluable in some opinions. But it is also a business, and it gives those students an opportunity to learn the business aspect of things as well. Now, given that the paper needs funding, it needs the monetary expenses to continue operating, what are some ways that the school is, or what are some ways that the Scarlett and Gray Free Press are trying to raise money, and can you tell us a little bit more about the Rebel Raiser?
Yeah, we actually just launched a Rebel Raiser a couple weeks ago. We have a goal of $10,000, and right now we're about 30% funded, and we still have like 2 weeks left. I want to say 13 days left. So that's just, it's like a GoFundMe, but it's secured through UNLV, and it's just kind of like for different projects all around campus. Like the Rebel Girls do them, like sometimes the anthropology department does it. Like it's open to anyone, you just have to apply. So we're really hoping that we can get that $10,000 and it'll give us a little more of a cushion, you know?
And where can students go if they want to contribute?
Just go to Rebel Raiser, I think it might be .edu, but just Google Rebel Raiser and then it'll be the first thing that pops up, and we're like the first. I think we're the only one that's still open, because once you launch it, they give you 30 days to reach your goal, and so I think all the other ones, their time has run out. So I'm pretty sure the Scarlett and Grays is the only one that's even still open right now.
Awesome. And if you'd like more details about the Free Press and just donating opportunities, you can check out the Free Press at www.unlvfreepress.com. Stephanie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Metropolis is a 30-minute show that airs every Tuesday evening at 91.5. You're going to hear Dr. Gary Larson along with our regular contributors talking about what matters to our community. And not only what matters, but why does it matter? We look at our community as a whole, but we also pay special attention to what's happening here at UNLV, because that's our home as well. So looking at our Metropolis through the lens of a radio show really gives us the unique perspective to tell a story through words and through people, and I think it makes for a great program.
We are member supported. KUNV 91.5, The Source. Here's why you should become a member. Become a part of the public radio family while keeping jazz alive in Southern Nevada. Every member receives a discount card to businesses and restaurants around the valley, along with a premium of KUNV branded items, exclusive access to KUNV ticket giveaways for concerts and events, and private members-only events with prominent musicians such as Paul Taylor, Vincent Ingala, and many more. We are 91.5 The Source, and that source is you. So become a member today.
The UNLV Women's Rodeo team has been maintaining its position among some of the top-ranking schools in the league. Jeffrey Griffith reports.
The most successful team on the UNLV campus is the one that competes wearing cowboy boots and wide-brim hats, the UNLV Rodeo team.
My favorite part of being on the team is the team and how we act as a whole. We're really supportive of each other, and it really shows when we go to the rodeos and we practice and we help each other out, and I think that's a great way to have a team.
After these last 2 weekends of 4 spring rodeos in Susanville and Quincy, California, the UNLV women's team is sitting very good in the standings.
We've all done very well this weekend. We had a very successful rodeo with the women in the first place for UNLV.
Success has to do with deliberate practice. Practice must be focused, determined, and in an environment where there is feedback.
Practice really good and make sure we practice right, and I think that's one of the major keys to being able to do good at the rodeos.
We practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to come up here, and it's been a long drive up here, and it's been a lot of work.
Make sure to show your support for the UNLV Rodeo team this fall. They will be competing at the South Point Hotel and Casino on May 3rd and 4th. This has been Joey Griffith for Studio G.
We're looking forward to see what's next for the rodeo team.
Speaking of sports, the hockey season is underway, and the UNLV hockey team has been gaining popularity within the community. Carolina Serrano brings you more.
Hockey fever has taken over the city, and fans came out to support.
So much fun. It's the way we can get our hockey fix, cheering them on and going crazy and pounding on the glass.
The Skating Rebels faced off with Grand Canyon University on Friday night, and fans of all ages took part in the fun.
I'm born and raised here, so UNLV is our hometown school, and I love hockey. I've been a hockey fan ever since. Good hockey, it's fun to watch, it's fast-paced.
Well, UNLV, it looks like their Skating Rebels are going to bring home that win. It's after the second period, and they're winning 2-0 over the Grand Canyon University.
Huge fan.
Yeah?
Love them. They're doing well. I think they're up like 3-0 last time I checked. So this is the Knights practice arena, and it's right down the street from my house. And I was like, whoa, you know, the Knights practice here and the UNLV hockey plays here. I'm a UNLV student, so I get in for free. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you know, it's all there, so why not come to the games and be a fan?
Make sure you show your support at their next home game in January 2019. Skating Rebels brought home that win 4-0 over Grand Canyon University. This was Carolina Serrano reporting for Studio G.
It's nice to see UNLV sports doing so well. Thank you for joining us today. See you next time on Studio G.